Stan Dishong is a custom motorcycle builder from the 50s. He built an incredible Indian Scout drag racer, a 1937 Scout.
When the chopper craze hit, he saw it, and already in the early 60s, he started Stan's cycle. He started making chopper parts. He extended forks, he made sissy bars, he made risers, tall handlebars, like all the stuff needed to feed the whole chopper scene back in those days. And as a matter of fact, one of his regular visitors was a young, very young Harlan Ness. And that's the stuff that just totally trips my trigger.
As long as they've been around, motorcycles have been a vehicle for self-expression. It's exactly why we wrench on bikes, chop them up, and make them our own. But there's more to it than that. It's the journeys and experiences that only motorcycles can provide. We're not just riding, we're riding our life stories, one unforgettable ride at a time. It's a life worth living and stories worth sharing. The third builder in this year's custom series is Ronna Norén from Unique Custom Cycles. He is predominantly known for being a chassis builder. He builds really trick frames and chassis. This is a guy who will start with the motor on the table and build everything around it. He is a true bike builder in its truest form. One of the really cool things about Ronna's build is Ola Stenegard is going to be involved directly in this project. He is the head of design at India Motorcycles. Scout is his baby.
This is the first time that we're taking forged outside of the United States. So it's actually a really big thing for us. And we were looking for a very well-established builder, someone that could kind of build any kind of style. In short, we were looking for the Roland Sands of Europe. And in my mind, there's only one. And it's Ronna and Unique Custom Cycles.
I built my first chopper when I was 14, 15 years old, and that was a long fork, 125 cubic. I've done it for 40 years plus, but I always like to go to work.
I've known of Ronna since 1987, and I remember it very clearly because it's the first time one of his bikes showed up and graced the cover of our Bible back in those days, which was the motorcycle magazine, MCM. And his bike just took the whole scene by storm. It was a game changer back then. He was also a member of Plebs Choppers. It was the first time I heard about the club, but very soon thereafter, I would see their bikes on like all the major bike shows in Scandinavia. They were just absolutely stunning. And they took home all the awards.
Back then he was a young guy with long hair, with strange kind of triumph choppers. And he joined the club, I think it was in '94. And after that, we always been in the same club.
We basically both, in a way, started our careers at Plebs Choppers. And Ronna actually started his company, this company, Unique Custom Cycle, in the club's workshop. We kind of followed parallel paths there for a couple of years to come. And now it's like, it feels like the band is back together. It's pretty damn cool, if you ask me.
What's up, Ronna? It's been a while.
Yeah, it's good. How are you? Is it good?
Good, yeah, we're both working on similar projects. It's been good to get our hands on this new Indian Scout and wondering how it's going for you.
Yeah, I started for a couple of weeks ago and it feels good. With a new frame, with a tube frame, it's perfect.
What are you building?
A little modern, not chopper, but a little more stretch, longer fork, change the wheel sizes. Modern 60s New York chopper with a modern feel.
I'm hoping there's a little bit of Swedish chopper vibes going on.
It's not Swedish style. This is going to be around 8-inch over or something like that.
Are you going to use a smaller diameter wheel, or are you going to do a 21?
I'm going to do a 21, and in the rear I'm going to use 18.
Right on. So for me, it was very cool to see the way the chassis was put together. For us, it was very easy to modify the back of the bike as well. As you know, we left the front stock, but the back was super easy.
Yeah, for me, it's with a tube frame is a game changer, of course. Then you really could do whatever you want.
How much sheet metal work are you going to do on the bike?
I'm going to change the rear fender, of course, and then I'm going to use a stock Scout tank and just cut it down to make it a little bit smaller.
Is Ola giving you some pointers and some directions on this project?
No. It's my bike. They already designed the bike once. Now it's my turn.
He already designed it once.
So from all the photos as inspiration, which one did you actually pick?
Stan's bike.
Stan's bike?
Yeah.
Why did you pick that one?
If you compare them, this is stretch fork, a longer fork, narrow tank, dual exhaust. We're gonna have that on this one too.
Yeah, it's kind of the same recipe. Taller bars.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's badass.
Badass bike.
And he was a badass dude too.
Stan Dishong is a custom motorcycle builder from the 50s. He hails from Vallejo, California, and he worked on a lot of Indians back in the day. He built an incredible Indian Scout drag racer, a 1937 Scout.
He invented the first drag bike slick. He had a tire company. He convinced them to vulcanize a flat strip of rubber onto an old tire. So they even made some fake treads across the tire just to kind of get away with it, to call it safe. He burned it up in the first burnout. It was literally the first drag bike slick ever made. When the chopper craze hit, he saw it, and already in the early 60s, he started Stan's cycle. He started making chopper parts. He extended forks, he made sissy bars, he made risers, tall handlebars, like all the stuff needed to feed the whole chopper scene back in those days. And as a matter of fact, one of his regular visitors was a young, very young Harlan Ness. And that's the stuff that just totally trips my trigger.
I think my style is nothing special, but it's quite clean. One thing that's important for me is that the build should be timeless and not a trend. This is the first Indian I work on. The best thing with this platform is a steel frame, steel tank, steel fender, so it's quite easy to customize. I always set the stance first, and then after that I build the rest of the bike. I don't care if the bike is flat black or candy red. If the stance is not right, the bike never gonna be right.
Damn! This is crazy.
Yeah?
You only had the bike for a week.
Yeah, but
I
stance
need a minute to just take it all in. This is crazy.
yeah,
You did the tank,
yeah.
triple trees, frame. Tell me about the tank, because you have done a lot of stuff on that.
Yeah, I cut it in 4 pieces
Wow.
and section a little bit in the rear.
But you still kept a lot of the theme and the shape from the stock tank.
Yeah, I
just
want to
kind of
have
shrunk it.
the classic Indian Scout feel.
Right. Yeah, all the
So,
lines are still there.
Yeah.
So how does the frame look underneath the tank?
Yeah, we could check that. You see here?
Oh, you moved the pump.
I moved the fuel pump up so I could get it much more narrow in the rear.
And now I
then-
see the frame.
Yeah, the
This
frame.
is so cool.
You see here, this is much wider.
Right.
It's more or less like this stock.
you stretch it quite a bit.
Yeah.
So you basically found an air filter that you
could use
yeah. And then you shaped the frame.
The frame of the filter, yeah.
The welds, they always just blow me away. That's so nice. This is why we made a steel frame. And we were hoping that you were gonna chop it up, and you did. Perfect.
Of course.
Awesome. This is super, super rad.
Now we're working on the rear fender.
Oh, you already did
Yeah, start with this. I have to have a little wider one.
Okay.
So it's gonna fit the 18. I'll start with this, and yeah, you could see. It's gonna be more or less like this. I'm gonna cut it down a little bit.
All right, it looks really good.
Yeah, this is like you should have done it. Talk to the design boss.
This is how we should have done it. I will talk to the design. Problem is, I am the design boss.
Yeah.
Bastard.